week. So, this is gonna be a shorter episode. I think probably. I don't think it's gonna be 120 minutes, but who knows? But this is gonna be the build-up to the first World War in this series, World War One, which will be nothing like World War One in real life. It's also happening like approximately 100 years before it, like Napoleon era. If World War One happened in the Napoleon era. However, in order to get there, we need to go through the things that happened. And the first thing is the Industrial Revolution. A classic. The Industrial Revolution. In real life, it kind of started in Britain and spread to other places. In this timeline, it kind of happens in like 3 different places at the same time. More like 4 different places at the same time. It starts in Rome, technically, but very quickly it just spreads everywhere. Like, from Rome, it develops in Rheims. From Rheims, it heads to Sparta. It doesn't do anything to solve their instability issues, like I mentioned, but if anything, it worsens them. Old Empire, Green Team, Caucasia, Austria-Hungary, Danish Prussia, Scotland, France, Estonia. However, it also happens almost simultaneously on the East Coast, in Japan. It's going pretty well for Japan. But notably, though, there are a couple of powerful countries that it does not happen in, and those notable countries include North China, which is going to be massive because, what are you telling me? Japan's having the Industrial Revolution and China's not? That'll be a problem. Another place that doesn't really happen is in Filipino Borneo. These 2 places don't really have an industrial revolution. However, Japan does spread it to Cambodia. It eventually finds its way into the hands of Burma Siam, probably through Old Empire. Oh, I just realized I can't color. Oh, that's right. It's because I'm on a new layer. Wait, so can I only... Okay, the door just opened. Hold up. I'll be right back, you know. I don't edit, so you're just gonna hear me in the background still talking, but whatever. It's windy today, and the freaking door just... Why does that happen? I don't know. Okay. We back. What was I even talking about? I got distracted by the door opening. I was getting freaked out by my layer. What is happening right now? Why can't I... I'm on the right layer, right? I just can't. Oh, it's because it's not showing. Oh! Okay, then. Okay, whatever. Hold up. Give me a brush so I can get rid of all of this. Oh, no! Oh, fuck, what have I done? Oh, no. Can I just have this layer showing? Dog, I don't even know. Guys? Is this like undoing stuff I did in the Americas? I don't think it is. What was the last thing I updated in the Americas last episode? Gosh, I hate this. See, I don't know how to use paint.net. You know, fuck it. Oh, it is working. Hold up. You see that R? Okay, there we go. So that R is going to be a hint at what's going to come in a minute. But first we got to talk about the Industrial Revolution. So like I said, Industrial Revolution does not touch Filipino Borneo or North China. It also doesn't touch a couple of countries in Africa, like Gabon. They don't have one, but they're chilling. It also is slow to reach the colonies. There's a couple that it reaches pretty fast though, like obviously Danish Prussia's, Rome's, France's, Cambodia's. Maybe not the California one, but maybe, I don't know. But yeah, Industrial Revolution, new tech, functional guns. Probably not tanks, but like new means of gruesome fighting. So countries getting pretty good at that. In addition, we got some alliances that are starting to form. How do I? Okay, let's turn the layer on correctly. Okay, there it is. So if am I on that layer? I'm on that layer. It's showing. So if I click this button, and then I do like a, okay, so that does it. Okay, guys, I learned paint.net. Crazy. Anyways, we're gonna see the formation of a Roman alliance. And why is this Roman alliance created? Like I said, instability in Europe with new military technology. It's important that there's a defense group in place, sort of. But there's also a reason why, and that's because there's another country that Rome is not fond of that is in Europe that's also forming an alliance around the same time, and that is Estonia. Estonia forms the E alliance. That's a terrible E. I'm going to redraw it. E. Perfect. Okay. Beautiful. And Rome instantly gets Rome on their side. They're like their best pal. They're basically brothers because they are. And Estonia is like looking for a country, and to be fair, there's one that really does jump out as like a very close friend of theirs, and that's Scotland, right? Scotland doesn't like Rome since they're kind of meddling in the British Isles by invading Ireland. They also let Estonia sail by them to get to the Americas to develop their colony. So they're pretty good friends. So they're signing this military alliance, you know, kind of a North Sea alliance. Rome's more of like a Mediterranean alliance. Rome's next thought is like, oh, I could blow the lid off this. Let me get the old empire in my alliance. So they offer it to them. They do not accept. They are good where they're at. They're like, look, we don't really want to join any European alliances. We're just chilling over here. We'll come to your side if you need it, but we're gonna kind of refrain. And Rome's like, okay, fine, whatever, that's fine. We need a new ally on our side. So they begin looking around. Meanwhile, Estonia is going to add another country to their alliance, this time being the Polish country that broke away from Austria-Hungary. As well as, actually, no, they wouldn't. Shoot. I know Austria-Hungary was at war with them before. I don't know if they would join the alliance. But we're going to say that they do. We're going to say that they do. And partially this is driven by what Rome's going to do. By getting the one and only Danish Prussia on their side. And like I mentioned last episode, a good friend of Danish Prussia now is the French country. They will join in on the Roman alliance. So we have 4 R's and 4 E's, right? It's looking like a 4v4 right now. So that's cool. But Rome's going to get yet another ally, this time being Caucasia, which is going to be a big one because they're right on Estonia's doorstep. Estonia is mad. Estonia is going to reach out to some other countries over here in Central Asia, and they're going to nab this yellow country on their side. It's a 5v5. But we haven't really dabbled into the Balkans yet. So, let's get there now. In the Balkans, we have Romania. Romania is swayed by the Roman alliance. Hence their name. No, not really, but in real life, yes. Bulgaria. What does Bulgaria want to do? Be neutral. They don't want to join in on any alliance. They're fine. Just chilling. Okay, I think this red color is the exact same as the Thessaloniki Macedonia country, but they're going to join in on Rome's side. So that's pretty cool. We have a massive shift in favor of Rome. However, we haven't really talked about Sparta yet, but Sparta is... They were just kind of unstable, but now they're actively collapsing. So let's get to the regular layer and shut the alliance layer off. Sparta is in full-on pandemonium as major revolts are happening over in Anatolia. Major revolts are happening up here in the hills of formerly Slavia and like Olympia. There's revolts happening everywhere. It is a mess, and nothing's going good. Shut that a little bit. Nothing's going good for them, and soon some of their neighbors are going to kind of fund rebellions in them, like kind, good, loving neighbors. They are going to start pumping money into this, the city-state of Olympia. Used to be just kind of small city in the hills. Eventually, over time, it's kind of grown to be quite the metropolis. But as time goes on, more and more parts of this country want to return to Olympia. And it just so happens that the time is now. So a large chunk of the provinces surrounding the Olympian country all break away in favor of reforming the Olympic Empire. And Sparta's very mad, and they immediately start sending their entire military up north to wipe Olympia off the map, right? Problem is, some other countries are also interested in reclaiming lost land. Other city-states, actually. This includes Anatolia, who will begin moving in, capturing the city, and they begin sending their military, their limited military, which might be being funded by someone, I don't know. Who knows? But their military is charging towards the Dardanelles. Well, the Dardanelles, I think, are mostly controlled by Thessaloniki Macedonia, but whatever's left of coastal Turkey they want, because they owned it. So not the old empire, the ancient empires of Olympia and Anatolia are trying to reclaim some lost land. These are very historic places. A lot of countries do support them, even if they were enemies. Now they're kind of ironically fighting the same enemy. So that's going pretty good. Sparta is mad, and they just kind of have to deal with it. They're sending their military out to both places, while outside countries like Rome and Rome are funding Olympia. The old empire, actually not the old empire, well, maybe the old empire is funding Anatolia. They're probably funding Anatolia so that all this land will become Anatolian, so that they can just invade it, because they do not believe in Sparta's prolonged existence. Because, like I said, old empire, not a very good friend. Not a good friend to have. But this is going to inspire some other city-states to maybe take action, such as these two in kind of like Switzerland area. They're both like, hey, we want our old land back. Yeah, no, they're not getting that land back. Milan stands up in front of the most powerful country in the world and goes, we want our old borders back, all of our land back. Give it, or we will attack. And they don't get the chance to attack because Rome bulldozes through them and wipes them off the map, completely conquering them, destroying them. They're done. Garbanzo. I just realized I never get rid of the capitals. They're always here. Let's try and hold up, I need to fix the capital issue, so I'm just gonna do that. There we go. And I'm gonna fix Milan as well, because their capital is no more. I almost feel like keeping it though, because it's been around for like eons. Might be easier just to do that because I get to keep it in the same place, but I don't know. Anyways, where was I? Milan just got folded by Rome, and this old Mediterranean French country, which is kind of just Alpine France now, that's probably their new name, Alpine France. They saw that and they're just like, oh shit, we best not meddle. They remain silent. They do not stand up to Rome. Rome has completely taken Milan. But in doing so, they've kind of riled up the populace here, but they're also the strongest country in the world, so they can invade Ireland, they can invade Milan, they can invade Egypt. Egypt's been around for been occupied by Rome for so long that I'm pretty sure they're pretty chill now. They're not very rebellious. But anyways, back to over here. The Olympian movement, I guess you could say, is spreading. It's starting to seep into deeper into the provinces, and eventually the second major city of the Olympian Empire will fall under their control, while neighboring countries immediately do a classic scramble for land, and Rheims will kind of be the one to kick this off. The Slavic portions of Rheims want to be Rhemian again, so Rheims sends its military into the Slavic regions to try and recapture as much land as possible. And eventually they kind of reach the outskirts of this city right here, while Olympian forces continue to move south into the Spartan land. Bulgaria will also join the war and will start moving in, capturing land over here. And Thessaloniki, I don't know if they would get involved. I mean, they would, but when Sparta's collapsing, so I don't think it would be so fast. Anyways, Anatolia kind of having an easy time reclaiming some of their lost land. They capture all this. They capture more and more major cities. More and more of Sparta's claim and hold on Anatolia is slipping away. They're losing a grip fast. All of this land is falling back under their control. Islands that they once controlled back in their heyday are returning to their control. Eventually they roll down here into Rhodes, and unlike what might have been the case in previous centuries, they're welcomed with open arms. Not in the island, though. The main island of Rhodes is kind of indifferent. But Anatolia has recaptured all of its area over here. It's a great day, right? We'll see how long that great day lasts. But Olympia will continue their movement down south, pushing into the mainland areas, and pushing up and capturing the city in Albania, while Rheims captures this little nook over here. Bulgaria took the land they wanted. They don't really have any further ambitions in the Greek area, while Olympia continues moving down the coast, being just absolutely welcomed by everyone. Everyone's sick of Sparta. Well, not everyone, but most of the countries are sick of Sparta. Eventually, seeing Sparta as a fraction of what they used to be, Thessaloniki will join the war to try and capture this major city, and they do so successfully. They do all that. They even capture a couple islands in the sea, and maybe this weird tail thing. But Olympia, there's no going back. Actually, I'm gonna say that they get a little more land over here, like that. There we go. That's good. I think that's good. But Olympia will continue moving down south, down here, into this peninsula, and one by one, historic major cities of the Olympian Empire are liberated until they reach Athens. They surround the city, and eventually they recapture the capital of Olympia. A couple naval expeditions happen. Boats are used. I don't know what I'm saying. And eventually that just leaves Crete and the island of Sparta itself. It has a name. I'm forgetting what the name of it is now. The island isn't called Sparta. I think it has a name or something. I'm just not remembering right now. My bad. And they don't really step into this island, actually. They allow Sparta to exist. They're like, look, we don't want to completely destroy it, but we need our historic empire back. We're Olympia. So the countries surrounding Sparta will draw up a new treaty. Except Rome sends some boats and captures Crete. They wanted it, and they took it. But their boats didn't stop there. Boop. I changed my mind. They invade Sparta, which probably pisses off all their neighbors, but who cares? Sparta is now under Roman control. How rude. Now let's drop the treaty, because I don't really like the way this border looks. We'll have Reem make some, what would be the word? Not acquisition. What's like the opposite? Sacrifices. It's not the word I was looking for, but I guess it'll do. Compromises. I think that's more like it. They make some compromises. They release a little more land to the Olympians over here. In Bulgaria, they didn't even get that much land out of this, but they'll release about that much to the old Olympic Empire. Doing pretty good. Over here is where they're having some of the most difficult discussions with the Thessalonikians, and eventually this deal will end up with them getting this part down here, which Thessaloniki didn't really want to give up, but they eventually do. And now we have Olympia back. Well, sort of. Actually, I'm going to make the Thessaloniki Macedonia country give up even more. Because I'm mean. Grr. Mwahaha. So yeah. Sparta is no more. They would have been something. The countries were willing to let them peacefully exist, but Rome did not allow that to happen. They've occupied Sparta, and they've occupied Crete. And their neighbor, the second most powerful country in the world, also does not like the peaceful continued existence of countries, which is why they rallied their military to the Turkish border and are now invading a brand new country. How rude and evil. They begin marching in. They begin pushing primarily towards the south, capturing this major city, and eventually surrounding and capturing Rhodes. They completely capture the island of Rhodes. Again, Rhodes doesn't really care. They wanted to be independent but didn't get it. And they'll keep pushing through into the more rural areas, eventually nearing several major metropolises. What to do now? I don't think Anatolia gets destroyed here, but I think they definitely lose everything over here on the coast. They push over here, capture these islands, push up here, capture this side of the Dardanelles, meeting up with the Thessalonikians, who are kind of just like, hi, hello, we've been waiting for you. Eventually they'll push all the way up into the Turkish corridor into the Black Sea, and they will freeze. They'll draw up a peace treaty where they gain full control of all the lands they occupied, which is a lot. They now control almost all of the Turkish peninsula, Anatolia. Looking at this from the outside, they're definitely pretty girthy now. However, this is also riling up more countries. And and some countries that are in alliances got very involved in situations down here. Rome is now going, or not Rome, Olympia is now going to join Rome's alliance. Because they're on the border, there's no way they wouldn't. However, Estonia's alliance is definitely looking a little lackluster now. They're going to get the Ukrainian country in, and Estonia is going to be the one to reach out into East Asia and pick up a new ally in the newly industrialized Japanese nation. So Japan is now entering the war. Not really, there's no war. Well, you know it'll end in a war, but it isn't at war yet. With Japan, there will be a couple other countries that opt to join, including Cambodia and the Indian country will join the E alliance. You can barely see the E. Here, we'll just put it there. E. In addition, they'll bully Iran into joining the E alliance. But all this E tension is bringing a couple major powers very close to joining the conflict, and now they will. The old empire joins the Roman alliance, which means now Rome's alliance consists of the number 1 and 2 most powerful countries in the entire world, which is rough. And they reach out to a country that would help them easily just have alliance dominance over the world, North China. But North China is busy with their own stuff. They go, we don't want to get involved in any wars right now. We're isolationist. And Rome's kind of like, fine, we will get Burma Siam on our alliance. I just realized, did I draw any E's in the red color? I did not. Okay, that's good. So yeah, but with that, we will see, with Rome's expansion of the alliance to get Burma Siam on the alliance, we will see kind of a domino effect as more countries join the Estonian alliance, including Borneo, Filipino Borneo. We will see Sumatra join the alliance. Java doesn't join, but the Australian country will. Africa has remained mostly peaceful up to this point, but a couple countries will join the E alliance, including several in East Africa. So the Tanzanian countries and the Mozambique country will all join the E alliance, as well as Madagascar. Angola will probably not join the alliance. They'll join Rome's alliance. Angola joins Rome's alliance. This country will also join Rome's alliance. Mali will also join Rome's alliance. Square Team obviously stays out of this. And the West African country will join Estonia's alliance. So definitely some big moves happening all around. There are E's and R's everywhere. A whole heck of a lot of alliances. There's also Punt, who will join the E team, and obviously Ethiopia will as well. Egypt will as well. And this small country over here will also join the E squad as well. So definitely a lot of tension everywhere in the world, basically. With World War I on the horizon, this will be a little more broadly encompassing for all. Have I not colored in New Zealand? I have not colored in New Zealand. I thought I already did that plot point already. Wow, okay. New Zealand could go a lot of different ways, right? There's a lot of different countries. Obviously, the easy explanation would just be like Australia lands here, and it's all good and tasty. But that will not be who actually jumps on in and discovers New Zealand. It'll be the Old Empire. The Old Empire rolls over here, discovers. It was already discovered, just not occupied. A couple countries knew that there was a landmass over here. They probably thought it was much larger, but whatever. The Old Empire is going to be the country to occupy New Zealand. We'll see how that goes. But for now, this is kind of the build-up into the war. We have the alliances, the industrialization, and next episode, episode 25. This is episode 24. Next episode 25, World War I will happen. I'm just looking at the time on this video. This is already 30 minutes long. I said it was going to be under 20, or like around 20. But you know, it ended up being longer. That's fine. There was plenty of Alliance hijinks, plus Sparta's collapse, so good episode. Olympia comes back. Anatolia tries to and fails. Ugh. I am ill. No, I'm not, but coughing. My throat dry. Anyways, I'm gonna stop recording now, so if you liked this video, if you could like and subscribe, that would be most appreciated. It would be bien. It'd be very nice. Goodbye now. Farewell. Peace.